Nvidia's in a no good, horrible, very bad spot. The iPhone gets a feature that they had already, I thought, and Netflix people don't play video games. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast. I got my Ford F-150 Lightning yesterday. I'm so excited. I'm amped up. I'm electrified, some would say. And I'm so sorry. That was bad, but we're going to continue on a little bit of yesterday's episode of Hot News' top story, which was about the RTX 3090 Ti being really super heavily discounted over on EVGA's website, roughly $1,000 off. You could pick up a 3090 Ti for $1,149. Well, now we kind of have a little bit more indication from Nvidia exactly why this is happening, and it's because they're not selling a whole lot, and their revenue and profits are down quite a considerable amount. Color me shocked that when mining collapsed, Nvidia made less money. What? Nvidia's revenue fell by over $1 billion from year on year, or a 33% decrease from this quarter last year. $3.06 billion this time last year to $2.04 billion this previous Q2 quarter. Quarter. That makes a lot of sense. This is part of a broad economic thing that we're seeing with other tech companies like Logitech dropping 12%. AMD's kind of been sitting pretty with cash, increasing their revenue 32%. But obviously one of the main reasons, even though Nvidia says this is gaming, they're lying. Allegedly. Theoretically, they might be telling mistruths and half deeds of the fact that that's mining revenue, my friends. This has already been something that Nvidia got caught on back in 2018 when mining revenue decreased sharply and Nvidia was showing lower numbers, but then they were like, no, that it's gaming being down, and then their shareholders were like, you're not telling the truth, and then they got sued for it. And you know, it's kind of happening now, and Nvidia had to pay a price, but the fine that they had to pay was like negligible. They made billions off of this, so why wouldn't they pay a $50 to $100 million fine in order to get $1 billion in revenue? It's just good business, all right, to just mislead your shareholders and move on forward, keep on trucking, and drop $1 billion. So their quarter-on-quarter gaming revenue is down 44%, data centers up 1%, professional visualizations down 20%, automotive is up 59%, OEM and others down 12%. Total, they're down 19%, but up 3% year on year. But also, their gross margin is down from 65% down to 43%. I wonder how gross margin decreases when you are making the same products that you made a year ago, and you probably got, more efficiency, things are better processes. Was it because you were charging inflated rates? Was it? Is that possible? I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna be snarky for a little while about this, but CEO Jensen Huang saying our gaming product sell-through projections declined significantly as the quarter progressed. As we expect the macroeconomic conditions affecting sell-through to continue, i.e. mining is down, we took actions with our gaming partners to adjust channel prices. So Nvidia confirming here that those decreased prices are official and also inventory. So Nvidia changing their pricing, changing their inventory, lowering prices in order to get more graphics cards out the window, their margins decreasing, which is why you're starting to see 3090 Ti's for $1,199, $1,149. Will it continue to go down further? Potentially, especially if they have a huge overstock, especially if they forecasted inappropriately when it came to the mining demand and expected it to proceed through Q2, potentially even Q3, and they did not plan ahead well enough to foresee yet another cryptopocalypse. It's hard to feel bad in these scenarios. This happened years ago. This happened like at the dawn of hot news that this was going on, and then everybody could see it coming, and then kind of this time everybody saw it coming, but the ability to pivot a multi-billion-dollar machine of capitalism isn't very easy. What do you think of all this? My snark obviously coming through here. CEO Jensen Huang obviously leading Nvidia to new heights, making it so that they're a hugely profitable company, making it so that they're a juggernaut in essentially all of the compute spaces. I respect him as a businessman, as a gamer. And if you're a gamer and you want to heat up your room, okay, you don't want to pay for heating this winter, well, the 13900K might be for you, because there's new benchmarks coming out showing that if you uncap the power limits on this bad boy, the 254 watt package power that comes standard, if you unlock that to 4096 watts, which the CPU won't consume that just means it's unlocked in the BIOS, well, then you can see a 14% improvement for 36% power draw increase. So this was before 35,693 points in Cinebench, and this is after 40,616 points in Cinebench. The CPU consuming quite a bit of power, up to 345 watts, but it's a chunk of lead, but it's going to be super fast, and if you just want to output the heat, you can do that. And in case you want AMD's Threadripper heat, well, if you're in the DIY market, you can buy the Threadripper 5000 series out in the open market. Previously, this was only available to system integrators and OEM builds, but now the Threadripper Pro 5000 series coming available to regular people. You can get the 24 core for $23.99, the 32 core for $32.99, and the 64 core for $64.99. You messed up on the 24 core. That should have been $24.99. You were so close, AMD. Very expensive, but in case you need, I mean, this is essentially server grade at this point, especially with that pricing. It used to be like super enthusiast, but now that's too hard of a pill to swallow, too big of a pill to swallow, which is also what I think crypto is. It's a honking pill you got to slide down your gullet. Bitcoin up 2% on the day. The crypto market moving positively today, up to 23,789. Ethereum up to 3.5% increase at 1778. I worded that weird. And Dogecoin up 0.5% to be at just over 7 cents. Now it's time for UFD Deals, where Reece is going to bring you the hottest tech deals out on the internet. But I have a question for him first. Good sir, is it true in order to pass high school in South Africa, you have to bare knuckle box a wildebeest? I need answers. Also, he asked me about my mobile gaming preferences. I don't play video games on my phone. Just the truth.
Thanks, Brett. Actually, had a really chill weekend. Had some guests over. Finally got around to playing Stray. And if you've been looking to play more games, AMD's got a deal for you with the Ryzen 7 5700G. One of our favorite 8-core 16-thread CPUs with a max boost of 4.6 gigahertz. It's currently going for only $220, which is 39% off. And you can find today's deal and more linked in the video description. Cheers.
No, Reece, I can't believe you insinuate such a thing. But Rivian insinuating that they are working on their dual motor versions of their R1T and R1S, and by insinuate I mean blatantly telling us in a tweet from the CEO saying that they're testing out their dual motor versions in New Zealand, trying to get everything going for that. These are beautiful cars. I absolutely love Rivian. The look, the just future of the company I'm very excited about. They have their Amazon delivery vans now out on the street. They're making deliveries on their trucks, soon to make deliveries on their SUVs. The only issue is that their quad motor versions don't qualify for the new EV tax credit that just got passed in the US Senate. So the only ones that will qualify are these dual motor versions, which are the more affordable options, but it's not there quite yet. But Tesla's doing something that they said that they probably were never going to do, which is discount their products. Elon Musk being very adamant that nobody gets a discount on Tesla, not even himself. He has to pay full price for all of them. But over in China, they're tweeting a different tune, okay? Ownership loyalty programs coming out in China, which could potentially be an aspect of the culture that Tesla China is trying to build, or it could be a sign of waning demand in the Chinese market, especially with increased EV competition that side. This could potentially be a bad sign for Tesla, or it could just be something new that they might be rolling out in China to bring everywhere else. So if you trade in a Tesla vehicle for a new one over in China, you can save half the price of full self-driving. You get 15,000 kilometers of free supercharging and a home charging service package equivalent to $1,200. Wow, that's actually a really good deal, especially if you want full self-driving. But I mean, even that 15,000 kilometers of free supercharging is it's something they don't do anymore. They just don't give free supercharging miles out anymore. I really would like to see this. Tesla kind of changing their tune, which Apple doing with the iPhone. Now in the iOS 16 beta 5, they are finally giving you a battery percentage bar, but to which I hear, but Brett, didn't they already have that? To which I would say, yes, you were right, up until the iPhone 10 came out, and then they got rid of it because of the notch design and they couldn't aesthetically fit it in. But all they're doing is putting the number inside the freaking battery icon, which is, it took them how many years? Like, what are we at, 4 years since the iPhone 10 to make that design choice? I get Apple has to vertically integrate and make everything smooth, but good gravy. Why did it take so long to get put back on? Wow. Okay, it's not available on the 10R, 11, 12 mini, or 13 mini. You have to be on some of the big boy phones in order to get it for Apple reasons. And Netflix reasons are the reasons Netflix isn't doing well. And we've talked about in previous episodes of Hot News that Netflix was rolling out video games on their app on phones, and like you had to be subscribed and then you had to play it through the app, and it was only on Android and like certain countries. It was really weird, okay? But they came out with their numbers saying that only 1.7 million people play it and only 23 million downloads have happened, which is like less than 1% of their entire install base, which makes tons of sense because I didn't understand the strategy in the first place. But they're going to be experimental and try a bunch of things, the COO said. Neat. This one not really working out for you. And some would say that Intel's GPU department not really working out for them. There's been a little bit of rumors behind the scenes that things aren't going too swimmingly for Intel and their partners. There's also been some rumors that they've been entirely canceled. Well, Intel now unveiling that they have the Arc Pro graphics cards for workstations and professional software. It has all AV1 acceleration, ray tracing support, AI acceleration for all of the things that you could possibly want in discrete packages, not super powerful GPUs. It's the Pro A40, A50, and A30M mobile GPU between 3.5 and 4.8 teraflops. But just to see what the consumer sentiment is about this kind of stuff, saying if the releases of commercial graphics cards is anything to go by, Intel will have a hard time convincing businesses to pick their hardware up. Its specs might be great on paper, but all that means nothing if the drivers are terrible, as we have already heard about when it comes to the cards intended for the commercial market. Scathing interpretations of what Intel is going to be coming out with, and I'm going to scathe on out of here. I hope it's a verb. I hope it's not a dirty verb. I'm going to be done with this episode of Hot News. I'll catch you back here for more tech news tomorrow, my friends. What's that? I'm all sorts of a mess today. I'm going to go drive the Lightning now.